State Street Theater is proud to present The Adventures of Thin Man, starring Kent Menzel as Nick Charles, Trenne Fields as the beautiful Mrs. Nora Charles. Take your time, beautiful. Tom David Barna as the sinister Bill Carroll. Elizabeth McKay as Sergeant Guffy. Ron Affolter as Stewart. Michael Koester as Louie the stool pigeon. Zach Bolland as Bunny. Chad Brancamp as everyone else.
Nikki.
Oh, yes, dear.
Do you know what Saturday the 14th is?
Uh-huh. The day after Friday the 13th.
Nick Charles, you've got about as much romance in your soul as a clam.
Oh, well, on the half shell.
Steamed.
Oh, all right, dear, I'll bite. What plays on Saturday the 14th?
Well, maybe this little poem will remind you. Because you're charming, beautiful, whack, with oodles of dough, which is no drawback. Because in you alone I find the best points of the following women combined. Venus de Milo and Helen of Troy, Scarlett O'Hara and Myrna of Loy, the Queen of Sheba and Madame du Barry, and Osa Johnson on a safari. But wise as you are, can you figure out this is a proposal? Darling, will you be my missus?
Oh, darling, that's awful.
You ought to know.
Huh?
You wrote it.
Me?
Yes, on a St. Valentine's Day. Not so long ago.
Oh, darling, a worse piece of slander I never heard in, well, okay, come to think of it, it wasn't half bad.
Did you hear that, Asta?
Oh, don't move, beautiful. I'll be back in a jiffy. Just a second. Yes?
You Nick Charles?
Well, that's right.
My name is Stewart.
Yeah?
I got a little Valentines for you from Bill Carroll.
Bill Carroll?
Yeah, you ought to know, Mrs. Charles. Your husband sent him up for murder.
Well, what does Carroll want?
Well, first of all, you don't like the big house.
Oh, that's a shame. I suppose he finds it a bit too confining.
A little. So he wants you to know. He's going to be moving out one of these days, and then he'll be paying you a little visit.
Does he have to?
Well, the boss is like this. He always pays his debts, and he figures he owes you two plenty, if you know what I mean.
Get out.
Take it easy, Charles.
Go on. Get out.
Okay, if that's the way you feel. Happy Valentine's Day, folks.
Nick? What does he mean?
Oh, nothing, dear. He was just bluffing.
I don't think he was.
Oh, now, beautiful, you know better. This isn't the first mash note we've ever received from a crook.
But Carroll's no ordinary crook. You once told me he was the smartest criminal you ever knew.
And look what it got him. A one-way ticket to the chair.
But if he breaks out...
Oh, darling, the name is Carroll, not Houdini. You know it's impossible to break out of the state penitentiary.
Yes, dear. But what worries me is, does Mr. Carroll know it?
All right, Mr. Carroll, here's your visitor. You can have 5 minutes.
Thanks.
Hello, boss. How are you?
Fine. Sit down, Stewart.
Thanks.
I trust you took care of that little matter of ours.
If you mean that I'd see Nick's Charles and his Frau, the answer is yes.
Excellent.
Yeah. Well, it was an awful waste of time, if you ask me.
I wasn't afraid that I asked you, Stewart.
Now, don't get me wrong, boss. I just mean Charles knew you were bluffing all along.
He did?
Yeah.
And Mrs. Charles?
Well, if it's any consolation, she swallowed the whole yarn.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So the lovely Nora didn't think I was bluffing.
Well, of course. I put on a good act for her.
Stewart, you're priceless.
What do you mean?
Oh, you poor fool. Can't you get at that through that void you call a brain that I have no intention of donating my body to electrical research? True, it's not a very handsome body, but it's the only one I have, Stewart. And naturally, I've grown quite fond of it.
Then what I told Nick Charles was the truth all along.
Comes the dawn.
But it can't be done, boss. How are you going to bust out?
Oh, the details are quite sordid. Money, you know.
You mean you bribed one of the guards?
2, to be exact.
Suppose they get caught.
Impossible. Hasn't it ever occurred to you, my boy, that both of us have a very similar physical appearance?
All right, so we're both built alike. So what?
Well, for the sake of the argument, suppose you were visiting me.
Well, like I am now.
Yes, like you are now. And at the conclusion of our little chat, the prison lights were to fail. Accidentally, of course.
Of course.
And the resulting confusion, the guard makes an understandable mistake. He takes you for me.
Then what happens?
Well, naturally, the poor chap is so confused, it would be simple to trick and disarm him. Certainly, no one would think he was negligent.
It's too pat, Carroll. I don't get it.
I'm afraid that doesn't alter the situation, Stewart. It's simply what appeals to me.
Well, if you're satisfied.
I am. Perfectly.
Okay, well, when does this break come off?
Right now?
Right now? Are you kidding?
Let's do it. I wish you could see the expression on your face. It's delightful.
But why don't you give me a little more time so I get some of the boys together and we could all...
No, that's exactly what I don't want. Too many actors often spoil the play. They get in the way of the leading man. What time is it?
It's 10 after 7.
Then I think it's high time the curtain went up on our little drama. Stewart, yours is the privilege of reading the opening lines. I want you to rattle the cell door and demand that the guard let you out.
I don't get it.
Do as you're told, Stewart.
Okay. Hey, let me out of here.
Little more impatience, Stewart.
Come on, let me out.
Hold your horses, mister. I'm coming.
Come on, I ain't got all day.
Take it easy, buddy. Everything's set, Mr. Carroll. When Joe sees me open the cell door, he's going to short the fuse.
Excellent.
Let me out of this rat trap.
Make it look good, Carroll. I don't want to lose my job.
Oh, you can depend on it, Walter. We shall give a portrayal worthy of an Academy Award.
Okay, here goes. Now, mister, you just need to keep your pants on.
Hey, Carroll, what happened to the lights?
Turn them on! Turn them on!
Turn them on.
All right, Carroll, here's my gun.
Ah, thank you.
You better hit me once to make it look real.
Oh, I'll do better than that, Walter.
Oh!
Hey, boss, what's the idea of plugging him?
What this drama lacks, Stewart, was a touch of realism. And there's nothing that helps it as much as a corpse.
Nikki, it's the front door again. One of us should get it.
You.
Oh no, you're the master of the house, dear. You should. Go on.
All right. But it's times like this that make me wonder if I was smart to give up bachelorhood. Coming.
Hello, Nick.
Carroll?
Surprised to see me?
A little.
Nick, it isn't.
Oh, but I'm afraid it is, Mrs. Charles. The bad penny, you know. Always turning up. May I come in?
Well, with that gunzo flanking you, I don't suppose it would do much good to say no, would it?
Well, they say, Nick, there's no percentage in arguing with a gun. Close the door, Stewart.
Right.
The last we heard, you were in jail.
What's that expression? Stone walls do not a prison make, nor iron bars a cage.
Well, how many guards did you have to kill to prove that?
Just one. But he was a mercenary fella. I know, Nick. I wouldn't move any closer to that desk. I'll take your word for it that there's a gun in the drawer.
Oh, I'd like to show it to you.
It'd be a mistake. Stewart here is an excellent shot.
Say, boss, how about stowing the gab?
He's got something there, Carroll. With the heat on, the cops ought to be swarming around this place in a few minutes.
Oh, Nick, I don't think you have the faintest idea of why I'm here.
Well, I can guess.
Really?
Yes, Nick. Nick's very good at games.
Yes, he's marvelous. Well, suppose he gives us a demonstration. Why did I come here, Nick?
Why, now listen, Carroll. If you think I'm going to crawl on my hands and knee...
My dear fellow, you misjudge me. I haven't the slightest intention of shooting you.
No?
No, I've got a much better idea. I gave it a great deal of thought.
You needn't have bothered.
It was a pleasure, I assure you. Why, many an enjoyable night I spent thinking of the best way to repay Nick for his many kind favors.
Well, and you decided...
To the point, eh, Nick? Well, I decided the best way to make you suffer is to separate you from your most precious possession.
You mean money.
Oh, Mrs. Charles, you underestimate yourself.
Nick,
Oh, now, easy there, Carol. Beautiful. Carol, you wouldn't dare try it.
Stewart, go get Mrs. Carroll's coat.
Oh, now, keep your hands off her, Carol.
Put down the chair, Nick.
Nick, please. I'll be all right.
I warn you, Charles. You're making a very stupid and childish gesture. Put down the chair and stay where you are.
Nick, don't!
Look out, boss!
Nick, the doctor will be here any minute.
What happened?
You stopped a slug in your shoulder.
I stopped a... Guffy? Guffy? What are you doing here?
I decided to pay you a little call after headquarters got a flash that Carroll busted out. I kind of figured he'd be heading this way.
Oh, where's Nora?
Huh?
Where's Nora?
I couldn't say for sure. She wasn't here when... Now, Nick, don't you think you ought to lie down?
Let me up.
Take it easy, pal. You got a bullet in you.
Let me up.
No, Nick, you don't want to go carrying on this way. We'll find Nora. Just give us a little bit of time. Nick, don't be a fool. Give me that gun.
Get out of my way, Guffy.
You're letting yourself in for a mess of trouble.
I said, get out of my way.
For Pete's sake, man, have you gone crazy? You don't know what you're doing. Nick, where are you going?
On a little exterminating job. I'm going out to kill a rat.
Here's Louie, Mr. Charles.
Hey, thanks, Eddie.
Will there be anything else?
Nah, just shut that door behind you.
I got you.
Well, Louie, hey, long time no see. Sit down. Hey, watch that shoulder.
Gee, I'm sorry.
Skip it.
Nick, you shouldn't have sent for me. You'll give the boys the wrong idea.
No, don't fool yourself, Louie. Every hood in town knows you're a stoolie.
Well, yeah, but no more, Nick. I quit.
Oh, cut it out. I'm in no mood for comedy. Start singing for your supper.
I swear I don't know a thing.
You're lying.
Honest, I ain't. I ain't got a single idea where Carroll's hiding out.
Well, how did you know I was hunting for Carroll?
You just said so.
I did not. Come on, come again.
Well, it's all over town, see? Everybody knows. You've been in at least a dozen places looking for him.
Yeah, so where is he?
I give you my word, Nick. I don't... Quit it, Nick. You're choking me.
Are you gonna talk? Hey, you must have a couple of ideas.
All right. Let me go. Gee, Nick, why'd you have to go and do a thing like that?
Come on, pigeon. Spill it.
Well, have you tried Bunny's place?
What happens there?
Well, there's a running card game in the back. Big chip stuff. No cheapskates.
Go on.
Well, you see, Carroll used to sit in on the game every once in a while.
Hey, is this on the level?
I swear it is. You might even run into some of his boys there. That's where they...
Well, heaven help you if you're lying.
Honest, I ain't, Nick. But you better watch yourself. They's a tough bunch. They play for keeps.
Good. That's just the kind of game I'm looking for. Hello, boys.
Beat it, pal. You're in the wrong pew.
Oh, I don't think so. I'm looking for Bill Carroll.
Well, you won't find him here. He's in stir.
Oh, he busted out. Or haven't you heard?
I only hear what I'm supposed to, mister. That's something you could learn. Matter of fact, how about I throw you out right now?
Oh, I wouldn't try it. This gun isn't loaded with blanks. Now, I want some information, and the quicker I get it, the sooner I... What? Go on. Answer it.
Me?
Yeah, and no cracks if it's Carroll or one of his boys.
Hello?
Hello, Bunny.
Yeah,
This is Stewart.
I'm listening.
Is there a party there looking for the boss?
That's right.
Let me talk to him.
What?
It's all right. Put him on.
Okay, I guess you know what you're doing. It's for you, chum.
Hello?
Hello, Charles.
Who is this? Stewart?
Don't ask so many questions. Go on home.
Oh, now listen, Stewart. I'm not leaving here until I get some answers.
I said go home. You'll find your wife there.
What?
You heard me. She left 10 minutes ago.
Nora! Nora, darling!
Nick, are you all right?
Am I all right?
Yes, I saw Carroll shoot you. I didn't know what.
Oh, it was just a scratch, dear. I forgot all about it. Honest, I did. Oh, now, darling, you mustn't cry. Oh, what'll Asta think?
You big lug. I thought I'd never see you again.
Oh, that was just wishful thinking, sweetheart. Oh, here, let me look at you. Oh.
Have I changed much?
Oh, hardly any. Has she, Asta?
Well, maybe that's because I was only gone 3 hours.
You're kidding. It was 3 years.
No.
Oh, well, maybe I'm just thinking of how much I aged during that time.
You poor darling.
Oh, well, say, now, how come Carroll changed his mind?
Don't tell me you're sorry.
Oh, not very, but I just can't understand why he did it.
Neither can I, dear. All I know is that...
Excuse me, honey. Come in.
Hello, Nick.
Why, it's Guffy.
Yeah, it's me.
Guffy, look, Nora's back.
So I see.
What's the matter, Sergeant? You don't seem very pleased.
Oh, I'm tickled to death. When did you get here?
About half hour ago.
What about you, Nick?
Well, just a few minutes before you did.
I don't get it. First, Carroll shoots you and kidnaps Nora, and now you're back together again. All in a couple of hours. How do you figure it?
Well, I don't. I just count my blessings and give thanks.
Well, it's an interesting problem. What's your guess, Nora?
Well, I don't think there's a logical answer, Sergeant.
There must be. All we have to do is find the right combination. Where did they keep you, Nora?
At some apartment on the west side.
And how did you know it was the west side?
Why,
Now, wait a minute, dear. Guffy, is this your idea of the third degree?
Third degree? You're a little touchy tonight, aren't you, pal? Go on, Nora.
Well, I knew it was the west side because I could see the Hudson River.
They keep you locked in a room?
Uh-huh, for almost 2 hours. And then something funny happened.
What do you call funny?
Well, maybe I should say peculiar. I heard Carroll and Stewart quarreling in the next room. And about half hour later, Stewart unlocked my door. He told me that Carroll had changed his mind and that I could go home. Fantastic, isn't it?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Now, what do you mean, Guffy?
Well, Nora called it herself. The story ain't kosher.
Well, what difference does it make? The important thing is she's back.
Well, that's one way to look at it. Where were you during all this time?
Well, around?
Just around, huh?
That's right.
The last time I saw you, you were carrying a heater. Mind if I look at it?
Well, what for?
Just humor me, pal. Put it down to a woman's intuition.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's funny. I had it right here in my pocket. Oh, I know it. It must have dropped out when I hopped into the cab.
That's too bad. You're generally not that careless, Nick.
Look, Guffy, you don't have to play Dick Tracy for us. What's behind this routine?
Nick, I pleaded with you to play ball. I told you if you gave us half a chance, we'd find Nora for you. But would you listen to me? No, you couldn't wait.
Well, do you blame me?
No, but I blame you for taking the law into your own hands.
Darling, what's she trying to say?
Don't ask me.
It's no use, Nick. We found Carroll's body.
You what?
We found his body. He was murdered.
Murdered?
Yeah. Nick, I hope you cooked yourself up a decent alibi, because, brother, you're going to need it. No, Nick, that was a mistake. You never should have killed Carroll.
But Guffy, Nick didn't. Just because he hasn't an alibi is no reason.
Now, never mind, sweetheart. Have you ever known Guffy to be wrong? Now, if she says I killed Carroll, then I did. Well, Guffy, how about trotting out your corpse now that I've confessed?
You're a very comical fellow, Nick. Okay, we'll see if you can get a laugh out of this.
Oh, don't look, beautiful.
He ain't a very pretty sight, is he?
No. Oh, would you mind telling me what I used on him?
Now, Nicky, who are you trying to kid? You didn't forget that fast.
My memory's bad.
You used sulfuric acid?
Sulfuric acid? You mean I poisoned him with it?
No, that's how you mutilated his body?
Now, why do you suppose I did that?
To prevent us from identifying him and tying his murder onto you.
Well, apparently it wasn't very successful, was it? Where did I slip? On the fingerprints?
No, the acid took care of that. You left a cleaner's mark in his coat. That's the way we traced him.
Well, kind of stupid of me to miss that, huh?
You couldn't help it. It was in his sleeve lining. We had to tear the coat apart to find it.
Well, as long as you're being cooperative, Guffy, riddle me this. If I didn't kill him with the acid, what did I use?
All right, wise guy. Wait till I open his shirt. There.
Oh, I shot him, huh?
Right through the heart.
Carroll never had a heart.
Nick Charles, I've stood all of this that I can. How long are you and Guffy going to go through with this farce?
It's no farce, Nora. If Nick thinks this is funny, he's got a screwy sense of humor.
But you can't believe that Nick actually killed him.
No? Well, then who did?
Well, it could have been any number. Stewart.
What?
Huh? Stewart killed him.
Oh, now, wait a minute, beautiful.
Nick, I'm positive he did. I heard him fighting with Carroll. And wouldn't that explain why he released me?
Yeah, but it wouldn't explain why he mutilated the body.
Well, that's obvious. It would give him more time to get out of town before Carroll was identified. Why don't you have your men go pick him up?
Where do you think they are now? They're watching all the railroads and bus lines and airports.
Well, what about steamship lines?
Steamship lines? Well, if it'll make you feel better, I'll check them first thing in the morning.
Well, that may be too late. Wouldn't it stand to reason that Stewart would try to sail on the first boat available?
What about that, Guffy?
Well, just so you won't squawk later that we didn't give you the break, I'll call the customs office right now. But this is an awful waste of taxpayers' money.
Customs, Mitchell speaking.
Hello, Mitch. This is Guffy from the Homicide Bureau.
How are you, Guffy?
Fine. Say, Mitch, I wonder if you'd settle a bet for me. Any boats leaving tonight for foreign ports?
Nope.
You sure of that?
Positive. No line is leaving until next Saturday.
Well, thanks, Mitch. That's all I wanted.
Oh, wait, hold it, Guffy. Ask him about private boats.
Some people are never satisfied. Say, Mitch, how about private boats? Nothing there either, I suppose.
No, you lose, Guffy.
What?
Yeah, we just cleared a private job for sailing for Havana. It's called the Driftwood, chartered by Mr. Stewart.
Nick, I don't think Stewart's here. No one tried to stop us from coming aboard.
Baby, you can say that again.
Well, let's try the cabin.
Can't you see no one's inside? There's no light.
Guffy, sometimes your powers of deduction amaze me.
All right, wise guy. We'll try the cabin, and then it's back to a cell for you.
Fair enough.
No tricks, pal. You first.
All right, all right.
Now turn on the lights.
Allow me, sir.
Huh? Hey, this ain't Stewart.
You're right.
Gee, I'm sorry, mister. I didn't mean to. Holy smoke, it's Carroll.
No. It can't be.
Well, while you're all making up your collective minds, I'll trouble you for your gun, Sergeant. Thank you.
But we saw your body.
It's delightful. In that case, you were disturbing the dead. Isn't that a penal offense, Nick?
I don't get it. If this guy's Carroll, who's the stiff in the morgue?
Stewart.
Stewart?
Well, of course.
The next thing you'll be saying, Nick, is that you knew it all along.
I did.
You're second guessing, my boy. You're as surprised as they are.
Oh, not quite. I'll reconstruct it for you.
Please do.
Carroll, you were hot. Very hot. And you knew the police would go on searching for you until they caught you. Or they were satisfied you were dead.
Go on.
So, you hit on the fantastic plan of murdering yourself. There was only one trouble. You had to supply the police with a corpse. But that was easily remedied. Stewart was approximately your size, and he was convenient. So you killed him.
That's marvelous.
And, just as you figured, I was accused of your murder. Heaven knows I had plenty of motive after you kidnapped Nora.
Did you like that touch? It was my idea of poetic justice.
Unfortunately, it boomeranged. When I saw the body in the morgue, I knew it wasn't you.
Why not? All the clothes were mine.
Well, that's why it didn't add up. Guffy, remember when you showed me the wound on the corpse? You had to open his shirt.
Yeah.
Well, Why wasn't there a bullet hole in his shirt? There should have been one.
That's right.
There's only one thing that would explain it. The clothes didn't belong to the corpse, and if the clothes were Carroll's, then the body wasn't.
A beautiful piece of logic, Nick.
Well, thanks. And that wasn't a bad plan of yours either. A pity we had to spoil it.
At this point, I find it very easy to forgive you.
Well, that's mighty white of you.
Not at all. After all, no harm's been done. I'm sure my little secret would be safe with you and the fishes.
What fishes?
Nick, I'm afraid your friend is a trifle on the dull side. You see, Sergeant, since you three are the only three, where's Nora?
Right behind you, Mr. Carroll.
Hey, she really conked him.
Nora, darling, how did you get there?
It was simple, dear. While you and Mr. Carroll were conducting your Mutual Admiration Society, naturally, you both had eyes for no one else. So, I edged up behind him and let him have it with my little belaying pin.
Belaying pin? Well, where did you find that?
On deck. I picked it up as a little gift for Sergeant Guffy.
What's that?
Well, in case we didn't find our murderer here, you would have insisted on dragging Nick off to jail.
I guess you're right. I wouldn't have listened to reason no matter how much you argued. But what's that got to do with this belaying pin?
Well, I figured this was the one argument that was bound to make a deep impression on you.